Let's walk through the actual procedural steps for mounting your array junction box to your rails. You've installed the array and so on, and you've left yourself a nice single section of rail extension out here for this array junction box. We've got the box to mount. We're going to mount the box and also put in leads that will allow it to connect to the array. Critical step, there's many ways to do this, many sources and many choices of types of array junction boxes, but what we're going to do is this particular idea of using a outdoor rated box on a flange and mounting it to a rail. So first we want to turn the array junction box over. Everything's highlighted in red where your target is of what to do, so I'm going to touch it and it turns it over, and I can go to next. Then drill a 1/4 inch drain hole, and I do that by bringing up my you'll have a drill available to you, nice drill with a bit. You can go to where the target is telling you to go. You want to put it in the lower front edge of what will be the J box. I do my drill, I click it, and I've drilled my hole. That's going to become my drain hole for that box. Then I want to align the holes with the junction box on the flange. So I'm targeted to touch the box, and what it does is it aligns it to the flange that we're going to use to mount it. So that's put there for you. Now you can insert your bolts. You can do this in any order. I'm going to touch on the bolts any order that I want, and basically I'm putting in the bolts into their holes where they're going to mount to the flange. Click on next, and then I fasten on the back side. I moved around here to the back. I touch on the various bolts in any order that I want, and I can put the bolts onto those things and tighten them. Now I'm ready to start mounting it into the rail. So I have a couple of mounting bolts here. I put the head of the bolt into the slot of the rail, and it's slid inside. I put the second bolt inside where the target tells me to go, and I slide my bolts in that are going to mount to my flange. So now I'm given my flange position here, and I want to slip the flange under the rail, and it's specially designed so that I simply grab it, I can move it around. I'm given a big target of where to go, and I position it roughly here, and I let go, and it positions it so that I'm mounted with that flange going under the rail and being able to be fastened to those mounting bolts. And then again, I'm given a couple of bolts. I click them in any order, and I fasten on those bolts so that now I've got my flange secured. Now I put in my glands. We have them highlighted for you and chosen properly. Click on this one, and it installs for you and fastens in a 4-hole gland, which is the way we're going to go to give our 4 leads, 2 pluses and 2 minuses, coming out to the array. Then we also put in a single hole gland, so I'm going to click on that guy, put that in, and that gland is going to be the single hole gland that's going to get the ground wire into it. Now, a series of steps all designed to make leads that are going to go into the junction box to be able to connect to the array. So I'm first prompted to touch and click off the ends of 2 roughly 12-inch long, roughly, leads of wire. I'm taking off that much end because that's what's appropriate for the MC4 connectors that we're going to put on. Then I want to identify these wires. Critical step is always to identify your wires. I have a roll of red electrical tape, and I'm given a prompt here to click. See, I click and it wraps a single wrap of tape. Go over here, I click, and I wrap a single wrap of tape. The idea is that this is going to be identified as string 1, so 1 wrap of tape, and it's red, so it's going to be the positive wire. I put that away. Now I'm given some red tape again, and I want to wrap 2 wraps around the next one, so I click. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it in roughly the position that I'm being told, and I'm clicking, and that puts on 2 tapes. So now I've identified the positive lead for string number 2 that I'm going to make. Now I proceed to strip off the ends of 2 more pieces of wire, get those ready. Now I'm given my black tape as my tool, and I click on my wires roughly where I'm told to put it here. Get that right, there we go. And now you can see that that puts on a single strap of tape. I click next, and once again I'm prompted to click twice and put on 2 pieces of tape. So now I've identified string 1 and string 2, positive and negative. Now comes the fun part where I actually get to make the MC4 connections using the MC4 crimping tool. We bring out that tool for you. we bring out the parts of the MC4 housings and the metal inserts that go inside. You're prompted to place the metal piece into the jaws, so you touch it, place it inside the jaw. Then the idea is you insert the stripped wire into that metal clip. So I grab the wire, I can move it around, I grab the wire and insert it in. Click Next. Then you pull the handles of the crimper, and as I pull the crimper, the tool operates and it crimps that metal piece around that end of the wire that we cut off. Now we remove the wire, it's highlighted, I simply touch on it and it moves it out of the way. Now we get to assemble the piece. So now you have your connector. So this is for the male or the large part of the body. You insert what you've crimped into the body. You do not need to take off the end of the MC4. You do not need to take that off. It should be just loosened, but you can slide it right in. So I click on the wire and it inserts it in. And it inserts until you hear a click. That's what tells you that you've actually put it all the way inside, right? And now I'm going to pull back a little bit here so I can see. And I'm given an MC4 wrench. I have a nice wrench tool designed here. I'm told where to go. I put it on the tool and I touch it and I put it on the tool and then I touch the nut and you saw that it rotated. Basically that meant that we used the tool to tighten that nut onto that body, and that's how we make it more watertight and stress relief. So I proceed, and now I repeat the process. Now we're going to do it for the female pieces. So once again, I click on the metal piece and insert it into the crimper. Then I proceed here to take the wire and put it into the location of where it's going to go to be crimped. And then I press the handle and it closes and opens back up. And I've crimped that onto the end of the wire. Then I click on the wire to remove it, get it ready. I click on Next. Now we have our pieces, and now we have the female piece ready to go. And all I have to do is click or touch on the end of the wire to have it inserted and clicked. That's a critical step here in the real world. You want to hear a click sound when that goes all the way in. And then once again, you have your wrench. I'm going to pull out just a little bit here. But now I've got my wrench in place. I'm going to put the wrench on the nut, and you see how it rotates. And they all moved out of the way. So I'll click here. And so the others have been made automatically for you. I'm just going to move around here so you can see. But we've already made all the other ones. So we did a male and a female and have finished the other ones for you. Okay? Now, we're going to finish the job by inserting them into the 4-hole gland. So insert the unstripped ends of the 4 leads through. All 4 of them are highlighted. You can click any one in any order. It doesn't matter. But the idea is that you're going to insert these in. And these are unstripped so that the fine strands of wire inside don't get messed up when you slip them through the hole. So I'm just going to click on one and we put it in for you. I'll click on another one here. And we put it in for you. Click on the 3rd one, put it into a hole, and I click on the 4th one, and it goes into the hole. So now you have inserted these wires in so that you have your leads ready, and they're marked on the outside for you to see when you close the J-box, but they're marked on the inside as well, so you can properly connect them to the wires you're going to bring up from the inverter. And now you have to tighten your glands. So we give you a tightening wrench. Basically, you touch on it. You saw how it rotated. And now we're going to finish the job by dealing with the ground wire. Insert the bare copper ground wire into its lug. You click on it, and it gets inserted in. And then click on the next tool. You're given a nice tool for that. Bring it here. Watch. You click on it, and you will have tightened that one as well so that it's secure. And that's it. You've gone through all the steps of installing your array junction box.
Hey, thanks for watching the training video using Interplay's simulation-based training program. You can keep watching our solar videos by clicking on the link to your left, or stay up to date on our latest solar snacks by subscribing on your right. To learn more about how the STP provides critical team training and helps you build an onboarding program at your company, please go to interplaylearning.com.